All right. I've got 6:30, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is the October 24th meeting of the Merrimack Conservation Commission. We have no public hearing scheduled for tonight, so we'll go ahead and start with new business. Now, I believe this first item, there's no one here for Black Diamond Development LLC. Is that correct? All right. This item, they did contact Community Development, so they asked to push this back at least till our next meeting. So we'll table this item for tonight, and when they're ready, we'll add it to an agenda down the road. Oh, and Mike Druin, would you sit in as voting member for Cindy? All right, the first item we have is William R. Davidson, applicant, BAA Systems Incorporated, owner. It's a review for a recommendation to the planning board regarding a site plan review to construct a proposed 5,000 square foot building and two radome structures. The parcel is located on 130 DW Highway in the I-1 Industrial and Aquifer Conservation Districts. Tax map 2D lot 06. And if you would, sir, before you begin, just to state your name for the record.
Sure. William Davidson, Bill. Can you press the button there and turn the green light on? Oh, there you go. Yep. Yeah, Bill Davidson from Hoyle Tanner. I'm a civil engineer representing BAE Systems. I think you guys probably all know where BAE is, off the DW Highway. They are relocating they have this virtually identical facility over in Londonderry that they're going to be relocating on this site. The existing site, you guys all have paper. I didn't bring a flash drive. I assumed that everybody would have paper, so that's good. But on the third page, C3, you can see the existing site that we're going to be at, which is going to be called MER 28. There's an existing chain link fence around it. Right now, it's just a grass field. There's some light poles and antennas and things that are in it. But if you look in the bottom left of C3, you can see the TAC map sketch with that fenced in area. The site itself is a large site. It's almost 136 acres. It abuts to the south is the National Fish and Game. If you guys are familiar with where that is, it's more on that side of the property. On C5, if you look, it shows a small building, and it's basically it's 5,000 square foot building. It's 66 by 74 feet, and then there's two radomes, which are those fabric covered buildings. We have a small amount of parking for that, and a paved parking lot and access to the different buildings. Originally, we had submitted to the planning board to get on the planning board, and can't remember the woman's name that contacted me and said that I needed to come to the Conservation Commission because it was in the aquifer protection or the aquifer overlay district. So that's why we're here tonight. I can talk a little bit about the drainage. It is a small site on C6. It shows our grading and our drainage, and everything drains through the parking lot and some head walls to a pond. We have a sediment forebay. It's all been designed with New Hampshire DES BMPs. So there's a small pond with an outlet structure. It outlets through a small 12-inch pipe, and then it has a treatment swale that it provides some treatment prior to getting back into the existing swale that's there. Then on the following page, utility plans, we have typical water detail, telecom, sewer. There will be a sewer pump station here that's pumped back up to the sewer that already exists on site. And then from C8 to C12 are just typical construction details. We have erosion control details with stone check dams, straw, hay bales, silt fence, that type of typical construction details you guys would see. Um, there's not a lot going on the site. I didn't know if you guys had any particular questions, that pertain to it, or?
When are you scheduled to go to the planning board?
Yeah, I think it's, I got a couple different projects in different towns, but I believe it's November 15th for Merrimack.
When do you feel this is gonna start?
I think it's gonna start in the spring.
Okay,
Yeah. I think
because
so.
you make there's some comments in here, obviously, about winter conditions and all that. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
so we
can't
do-
believe this is gonna start before
Yeah, we-
winter conditions.
yeah. I mean, it's really up to BAE and when they want to do it, but I think it's gonna be early spring.
Okay.
There is some, if you look on C2, we have some specific notes and things regarding animals. One in particular was there was a hit for the eastern hognose snake. So we have, I think there was a sighting like 3/4 of a mile away back in, I think it was 07. Some of these hits you get go back into the 80s or whatever, but this was 07. So we've gone through and we've got recommendations from Fish and Game that we can move through forward with the project, but they just wanted us to put some history on here. So if the contractor does see the snake, they know what to do, they know who to contact, how to go through that process. But yeah, it's slated for an early spring.
So obviously, the radomes, we're not allowed to know what's in them, but they're just objects. The building, there's gonna be storage of fluids, there's gonna be no maintenance work done out there, there's gonna be just,
No, I don't believe so. It's funny that you say that with the radomes and what's going in them, because when I was driving over here, I was trying to think of how I was going to talk about that, because I honestly don't know. And
No,
I
yeah,
haven't
they're
asked the
just-
question, so
yeah, they're objects.
yeah.
Objects go in them. Yes, just the building itself, obviously the radome is, they're just an air inflated structure, but the building itself, there's just no floor drains.
No, definitely no
No
floor
storage
drains.
of materials and fluids, or just
No.
an empty building, administrative type.
Yeah,
building.
we have I don't have them with me, but we do have architectural plans.
It's just-
There's
it's an-
office space, bathrooms, that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
okay.
But
So that in the whole plan, I just have one thank you for using the straw and hay, getting that differential in there. I appreciate it. You make one note on C2, the landscape notes, item 7. You make a nice note about the fertilizer and testing soils,
yep.
which is great. That's exactly what we want. But then on C8, item 3B, the last one is wind soil test is not available. So I mean, is there? I know there's not a lot of landscaping going on. This is just going to be refoliating grass and such. But you're going to intend to and test all the soil, not leave some areas out.
Yeah, so what this was for is for soil testing to make sure that they have proper pH, lime, fertilizer, that type of thing. So any of the disturbed soil, when it goes back with the loam, they'll do that prior to seeding.
Okay, but it's
that
going to be, well, I just want to make sure, because on the front side, you're saying it's going to be tested, and this one, it's saying if it's available. So I just want to, we're going to test the soil
okay,
before,
yep.
before we fertilize.
Yeah, I can correct that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my only catch. I mean, you got the 10-0, 10-0, 10,
Yep.
10-0, 20, which is perfect, with no phosphate. But I just want to make sure that we're going to stick to soil testing.
Yep, we can definitely do that.
I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know if it was in everyone's packet. There was provided to us a drainage study. Page 4 and 6 showed the pre and post 2, 10, 25, and 50-year drainage numbers, and there were decreases in all the post ones.
Yeah.
Anyone else? No? Well, thank you for coming and talking to us about this. I'll put together
Thank
an
Yeah, sure
email
thing.
to the planning board.
Let's say we're all that easy. Thank you very much.
Take care. Have a good night. All right, the next agenda item we have is review and comments on a standard dredge and fill wetlands permit application from Pennachuck Waterworks Incorporated. The application is for the site of the Bowers Pond Dam located at Alpal Lane, tax map 2D, lot 04-01. We did have materials, substantial number of materials in our packets for those. Were you here to speak about that project?
No, it was homework assignment.
Oh, okay.
Be the short straw, did you?
No, I won't tell you what I'm here for.
There was a substantial amount of information in our packet about this project. And there's another packet on the table, I think, which is just the stormwater management plan associated with this. Really, unless we have concerns, or things or clarifications that we're asking for, really no action is needed on this.
Yeah, just a agreement that we should either sign it or not, so.
I don't even think, was there even a place to sign it? No, I think it said,
Oh, I would, yeah, you're gonna have to sign the permit.
I think the Nashua Conservation Commission did.
Well, this goes into Merrimack also. Is this
I
just
think it's gonna
notification?
need a sign off from both.
I think
Yeah.
this, because this is where it's a protected water source. Nashua considers it protected wetlands, high valuation wetlands, and we just haven't classified it. But they're, right next to each other, so.
Well, did anyone look through it and identify any areas that we wanted further clarification, or?
No, I think this is very similar to what the Pennachuck did before with the Merrimack River. And seems to be set up the same way, so it looked pretty thorough to me. We even got all the receipts for the mail back and forth. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's been reviewed by DES, Fish and Game.
yeah, so I think it's kind of
It appears they have at least as much as interest as we do in water supplies.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't see anything that caught my eye.
No, 250% of the
100-year
25.
to 2.5
Yeah.
times the 100-year flood level
Mhm.
for the
It's,
dam.
I think I'm okay with it.
all right. We'll keep moving then. Next, the last item under new business is the request for maintenance funds from for Horse Hill Nature Preserve signposts. Ellen, you want to talk to us about that one?
During our site walk in, I think it was back in August, the subcommittee led by Mark Gagnon noted that several of the junction signs, the posts, are showing their age, they're tilted, they need to be reset. And Mark would like to do that. He's gotten a quote from Home Depot for a material that would let him set the posts, get them back upright, and he'd like to get that done before winter and more heaving goes on. Right now, all of the posts, none of the posts has fallen over, and we'd like to get to it before that happens. And so he got this quote from Home Depot for, it's a foam that when put in expands and can anchor the posts in place. Something that is not here that I wasn't sure about is he'd also like some touch-up paint for the posts. I did not know if there was a standard or if somebody's got cans in
Is
their
this the green?
shed. This is the green, and I'm sure that if it's in somebody's shed, it's too old to be used, but we wondered if there was any standard
We
that
had
had to
those
be used.
posts, most of those posts were made by DPW a number of years ago when we did the logs to lumber project at the middle school. We just turned a ton of spruce 4x4 posts, and DPW carved them and did stuff on them. So any forest green paint,
Okay,
probably probably the right color.
And the quote that Mark got from Home Depot should be in everyone's packets. It should have gone out in the email.
So-
We'll have to add,
With Lori.
add
Okay.
enough value
Yeah.
to a motion to make sure we cover that paint.
Mike has just suggested that I contact somebody at DPW and I will follow up on that
They
myself.
they may have green paint that's available, or I don't.
I mean, as I
But
said,
again,
if it's
this
been
was a while ago.
if it's been sitting in someone's garage, I know we're gonna need new, but he does have a quote for the expansion. When I make a motion on this, as I will, I would like to do it for an amount not to exceed
Yes.
something so that if we need to get paint, that will be covered. And I am open to a discussion on how much that should be. I have not been involved in this before. But right now, we're looking, there are at least 10 posts that are gonna need to be reset, and I know that Mark will wanna get at them while they're being worked on.
So you've looked at these posts, you've seen them yourself? These are just absolute wear and tear. No one's been like messing around.
Oh, no, this isn't vandalism, this is,
Because the
this is
one,
just like-
this looks, it's a really interesting looking product.
I'd not heard of it before.
Yeah, it's new, and so it's a really interesting product, and it's probably great around your home. I'm just curious about people yanking them out. That's my only concern.
I'm thinking once it's set, it would be, I mean, it's for mailboxes and stuff. right?
Yeah, right. So it's great. It's going to be a great job of keeping things upright. But
Yeah.
you think it, Andy and I put that kiosk in up at the middle school, and we did one day. We did it wrong. We put the posts up, and then we came back the next day to do the rest of it. And the overnight they pulled the posts out of the ground. So I'm just
Frankly, I had not anticipated that concern.
So, I mean, I'd like to see them try to get it out now. We fixed it. But it's got a lot of cement and rock in it, and so I'm just, if it's not been a problem, then it's probably not gonna be a problem. I'm just,
Now, whatever issues we've had in Horse Hill, vandalism has not been
yeah, okay.
to this point.
This would be interesting to see if this works out well. I mean, because we have a lot of places around town here that trying to dig a hole is not easy to do, and this would be a much quicker way to,
And we'd be
Set things
happy to
out.
do it.
yeah, that's just,
And
It's
the
just-
committee is looking for we're probably going to have a work day on November 12th, but that will be concentrating on another thing. Mark is prepared to go out, probably with Tim Adams, and work on this himself. He wants to save the work day for a bridge rehab.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I am open to suggestion for what would be a margin for the paint.
yeah, I mean, you're
I
gonna
think you can
spend,
get a gallon or
You're
a
gonna
quart,
spend-
probably a gallon.
Yeah,
A gallon of paint could cost a lot of money.
you're gonna spend, $30, $40 on a gallon of paint.
More,
Yeah, well, I'd say,
Yeah.
you're gonna have outdoor,
yeah. They're expensive, it's expensive now.
the higher gloss, the
I'd
better,
build- I'd
the
build
more
in-
resilient it's gonna be to weather.
I'd build in another $80 for the paint.
I would too. Paint and a paintbrush.
So not to exceed $200.
yeah.
Do it.
I move that the Conservation Commission approve an expenditure of not to exceed $200 from Fund 53 in order to, for maintenance supplies for Horse Hill.
Second.
Motion by Ellen, second by Gage. Anyone feel like any further discussion was needed? No? Okay, all in favor? Motion carries 6-0.
Can you tell Mark that we'd be really interested in his report of how he
Yeah.
thinks it works?
You certainly.
It looks interesting.
Yeah, I've seen the video, I've seen it, I'm just,
Yeah.
you know,
See, how-
you watch YouTube, you can change your engine in 15 minutes, right?
see how it is in the spring.
Yeah, I'd like to see really how it,
Yeah.
how it survives.
All right,
Because the nice thing about concrete, when you break it up, it's back to dust, it's biostable. What's this?
What's in the foam?
Yeah, what's in this foam? It's a 2-part chemical, so we're just be interested.
We shall be your laboratory,
Yeah.
for good or ill.
all right, that gets us through all the new business. Moving on to other business. We do have the LSIP walk scheduled for October 29th, 10 a.m. It has been posted, so hopefully the weather Well, hopefully it'll be as nice as it was last year when we did this.
And they did send, I mean, we have to do our walk, I know, but remember a few months ago, they sent someone. Let someone
They
know.
did,
Yeah,
that's
they
right.
did their 5-year or 10-year checkup themselves or something on it.
Yeah. They're always very complimentary that every year when we put this thing in on time. Thanks to Eric.
Because we actually do it.
Because we actually do it. But yeah, that's at 10 in the parking lot. It is that time of year. Probably if someone thinks of it, wear reflective clothing. NRPC mapping, really the only update I had on this. I put it on here. I didn't know if we were going to start getting feedback or questions or things that would need to further elaborate on for them to complete the project. But they have, we approved the funding for it last month or last meeting. So all that's there, and they haven't generated any of those concerns yet. But I guess it brings us to approval of the minutes.
Cindy's not, we're just gonna approve them as is.
I move that we approve the minutes from the October 10th, 2022 meeting with the following corrections.
Motion by Ellen. Second by Andy. All right, who wants to go first? Or who wants to go at all? I didn't find anything. All right, so no further discussions needed. All those in favor of approving the minutes?
I'll abstain since I wasn't here.
5 in favor. Mike Poivert abstained.
Thank you.
Wow.
You kidding me?
It's set a standard we'll never be able to repeat again. All right, who wants to make a final motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Gage, second by Andy. All those in favor? Motion carries 6.
We could just just leave another 8 minutes to make it at least go a half hour.
Yeah. So I showed up a week early. I feel